Hey guys, so today we have a 2020 election prediction between Senator Sherrod Brown from the state of Ohio and President Donald Trump, not from Vermont, from New York, and he currently resides in Washington, D.C. So let's now begin with the safe Democratic states. So Washington, you know what, it's going to kill me to have to click so many times, so I'm just going to put it like that. There we go. Oregon, California, Hawaii, Illinois, not getting my words mixed up. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, the District of Columbia, New York, Vermont, that one district in the state of Maine. So we start off 183 electoral votes for Sherrod Brown. Now let's go through the safe Trump states. So all these states I would now put in the safe Republican column. With the exception of that second district, I'm actually moving Texas into the safe Republican column, given how Sherrod Brown can't really appeal to those kind of voters. So we start off 183 electoral votes for Sherrod Brown, 142 for President Donald Trump. So now let's go into the margins, right? So let's go ahead and move to the state of New Mexico. This is a state that Sherrod Brown is probably going to win. Again, nothing's a given in politics, but it's very difficult to make a clear case for someone like Mr. President Donald Trump to win in a state like New Mexico. Colorado, I'm actually going to put into the leaning column because Sherrod Brown can't really appeal to Latino voters, but I still think that he would win the state overall. Next up, we have the state of Nevada. This is going to be a hotly contested race. It's going to go back and forth all night long. But at the end of the day, I see this simply being too close to call. Sherrod Brown can't really appeal to Latino voters, and Trump also can't really appeal to Latino voters. They're probably going to choose the Democrat, but they won't come out in numbers like they did for people in the past. They won't come out in numbers to support people they won't come out in numbers to support the 2016 Senate candidate Catherine Cortez, something like that. Don't quote me on that. Nevada I see being a pure toss-up state. I must say this area of the country, Sherrod Brown is probably going to underperform most Democrats, but then in this Rust Belt he might overperform other Democrats, given he is the Midwestern senator from Ohio. So next up we have the state of Arizona. This is pretty much going to go to the president. Again, Sherrod Brown can't appeal to Latino voters in the state of Arizona, and he probably won't win this state. Now, in these two districts, we have the state of Maine at large. I see this one going towards Sherrod Brown, but not by a wide margin. I see this one just barely being on the verge of leaning, but I could make it clear. I could make a very good case for either leaning or likely Democratic, but then with the second district, that's definitely going to go towards the president, and same thing with that second district in Nebraska. But I actually do see that second district being quite close, given where Sherrod Brown is from, and he can appeal to those voters. But I don't think it's enough to win him in the second district of Nebraska. So you might notice how we have so many Midwestern toss-up states. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Midwestern toss-up states, and for good reason. Normally Missouri would go to the Republicans pretty easily. Indiana would go to the Republicans pretty easily. Iowa and Ohio would probably go to the Republicans against any other Democrat. Wisconsin would be really close, but we're actually going to just take a break from those states. Just one second. So we're not going to go over to the Midwest because I really want to talk about that pocket of the country in depth. We're going to go up to the state of New Hampshire. I see that one narrowly going towards Brown. Doesn't really need much of a persuasion for it to go to Brown. It's pretty much easily going to go to him anyway. Virginia, I see that one going towards Sherrod Brown quite easily. He can appeal to those establishment Democrats. Sorry, not establishment Democrats. He can appeal to those Democrats. Another candidate in North Carolina, I see that one going towards. I see that one going towards Mr. Trump. Same thing with Georgia and Florida. He can't. Mr. Trump, can't really. Sherrod Brown can't really appeal to those voters, and I see those going towards Mr. Trump. Now, the pocket where I really wanted to get in depth about the Midwest region. Let's first of all get some things out of the way. Sherrod Brown is the very, very popular senator from Ohio. Almost all presidents win their home state. Almost all of them who actually become president win their home state. I don't see Sherrod Brown being any different. I'm going to put that in the leaning Democratic column, definitely leaning towards Mr. Brown. Another state I see leaning towards him, the state of Michigan, right above Ohio, has a lot of geographical similarities, and he can definitely appeal to those. He can definitely appeal to those Michigan voters the same way he can appeal to those to those Ohio voters. Another state leaning towards Sherrod Brown, the state of Pennsylvania. That officially makes him the next president of the United States, by the way. Pretty big deal if you've been paying attention. But I see, again, this one leaning towards Sherrod Brown and Democrats. In this case, he's from Ohio. If he's winning Ohio, he's probably winning Pennsylvania as well. Another state leaning towards the Democrats, the state of Wisconsin. This was one of the upsets in 2016 that Mr. Trump was able to win. But again, the very geographical, I don't know how to put this, demographical and geographical similarities between these four states. And the fifth state as well that I'm going to talk about, and that's the state of Minnesota. I see this one moving into the likely Democratic column just because of how powerful a candidate like Sherrod Brown would be in the Midwest. So 290 electoral votes for Sherrod Brown, 215 for President Trump. Sherrod Brown really cutting into where Mr. Trump was able to deliver upsets in 2016. Now, these final three states are less favorable towards Mr. Brown. The state of Iowa, I actually see leaning towards Sherrod Brown. Now, reasoning behind this, he can appeal to those voters. Iowa and Ohio are definitely compared to each other quite a lot. He can appeal to those voters, but again, it would be quite a far stretch to call the vice president's home state for the Republicans, and I'm kind of torn between leaning and likely, but just because it is the vice president's home state, I'm putting it in the likely Republican column narrowly, and same thing with the state of Missouri. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.